call us if she needs us.
God, this is killing me.
I can't see. There's somebody in the car.
So he's driving?
I don't know. I can't tell. It's,
The twins and I are leaving.
Where are you going? Does Carl know?
I don't want to discuss it.
Where have you been?
I don't want to discuss that either, no.
Sorry, Mother, but what about the handkerchief with the lipstick on it? The present with the card from Carl? He's having an affair.
And summer's lease hath all too short a date.
Carl, our times together are moments stolen from time. Tell me you love me.
More than life itself. Rachel is a pest. I wish we were rid of her.
You're gonna drive yourself crazy.
Well, thank God I found you. So what are we going to do? Hide from me forever?
I sort of figured you'd find me, and I needed time.
You certainly arranged that for yourself, didn't you? What the hell were you doing, Rachel? You left with no warning. You didn't leave a clue as to where you would be or how I could find you.
You were supposed to be in St. Louis.
Well, I had to cancel that trip to St. Louis because I was worried about you. God, I've been to New York and back trying to track you down. You left, no warning. You took the twins. Where are they? They're in there?
Of course they're in
They're all right?
Of course they're all
And
right.
you didn't tell anyone where you were?
Amanda knew where I was.
Oh, did she? How nice for Amanda. Well, she didn't choose to share that piece of information with me.
Because she was protecting me.
From what? From what? From me? For God's sakes, I'm your husband.
Are you?
Is this about what Amanda said?
What did she say?
That you thought I was having an affair. I dismiss that as being absolutely... Look, if that's what this is about, it's absurd.
What are you implying? That it's impossible for you to have an affair? We both know that's not true.
Danny, look, if you're referring to the letters I wrote to Diana Nikos, that was years ago, Rachel. It was another lifetime.
Yes, and something you should have told me about. You should have told me that as soon as Nikos came into town. That was a shock, but that is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the present.
Do you think I would risk all that is precious to me? Do you think I would risk all that is precious to me for a tumble in the hay?
No, I didn't ever think that. Until all the proof started piling up.
Right. What proof?
Well, first it was the lipstick on the handkerchief, I believe, and then all of the women's cologne all over your clothes. And then the mysterious gift and the phone calls, but all of that had an explanation. The only one thing that didn't have an explanation was the key to your private suite.
What on earth are you talking about?
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
You heard me knocking on the door. What, you were too cowardly to face me? Or were you too wrapped up in the other woman?
What other woman? With whom? Dear God, this is all about that Prescott woman, isn't it?
So, Hadley Prescott's someone you're having an affair with, right?
You actually raced cars for a living.
Yes.
Two. And the proof has kept piling up.
What proof? Look, before I answer any of these accusations, you're going to have to tell me exactly what you saw when you went into this mysterious
Well, it
suite.
wasn't what I saw, it was what I heard. I stood outside the door. And heard you reciting poetry to the woman.
It wasn't me.
Do you think I don't know what your voice sounds like? What do you think it felt like to stand on the other side of that door and hear you profess your love to some other woman?
It wasn't me.
You called her by name. You professed your love for this Hadley person.
Look, Rachel, I don't know how this was done or exactly why this has happened. I'm sorry that it did, because clearly it was very hurtful.
It hurt like hell. So I went down and I called up to the suite, and the same woman answered the phone, and she claimed you weren't there.
But I wasn't there. You've been set up, Rachel. We've both been set up.
I would love to believe that.
Look. Rachel, you heard only my voice. I would like to think that if the tables were turned, I would insist on a little bit more proof before I'd begin to doubt you.
Yeah, well, I thought the same thing. So I went and got the key to the suite and went in. I wanted to see for my own...
Right?
With my own eyes.
And what did you find?
Your cufflinks. Your lucky cufflinks, the ones that I gave you. With your initials on them. Your favorite cognac. Your appointments book. A book of poetry open to one of your favorite poems. Flowers with...
I can see how you'd be shaken up a bit.
And then there was Hadley's diary. Detailed accounts of all the times you've spent together.
All lies, Rachel.
Yes, that's what I thought. I thought they were lies, too. And then I took your appointments book. It was the one from the office, the one your secretary fills out for you. And I sat down with the diary, and I looked at the diary to see when she thought she had met with you. And it was exactly the same dates. Every single time. The dates where you were supposed to be on some business trip. It was a perfect match.
Then why didn't you confront me? There was no need to run away.
Yes, it was. I needed to sort all this out.
Yes, and I've no doubt that Matthew and Amanda offered you little support in this. I suppose they've assumed I'm guilty of this betrayal.
Well, of course they have. The evidence sort of stacked against you.
Well, I want to see this evidence. Come on, we're going over to that suite right now.
I'm not going over there again.
Oh, yes, you are. If you have an ounce of faith left in me, and I believe you do, you and I are going to go over to that suite and see for ourselves.
What for?
Because I'm going to confront this Hadley woman. I want her to look in my eyes and tell me why she's working so hard to destroy our marriage. Come on, get your coat. Rachel, get your coat. You've got to come with me. We're coming in. One empty suite.
There was a woman living here. It was full of her things and yours, too.
Well, I've never been in this apartment before. Look in the closets. What was that?
It's as though no one has ever lived here.
This is in keeping with what I said. This intricate plot is all part of some elaborate setup.
Look at the flowers. No, all that it proves is that she moved out.
Yes, well, wouldn't that explain Miss Prescott's disappearing act?
If you were here with her.
Which I wasn't.
If you were,
Which
you
I
would have heard
wasn't.
me, and she would have known to get out of here.
Rachel, do you truly believe that?
I don't know what to believe.
May I ask what you're doing here?
Yes, you may. Now tell me, who's been living here for the past month?
It's been empty for over a month.
There was a woman living here just a week ago.
No, madam.
You sure?
Absolutely.
Well, clearly there's been some misunderstanding, Don. Come on, let's go home. This is yours.
Thank you.
Someone wants us apart. And I know exactly who it is.
Carl, this way. That was good. Obviously, he was lying.
Yeah. That's always possible. But yours truly has never been in that apartment before.
How do you explain your voice and your things?
The way I've always explained it, there's only one person who has both the resources and the motivation to do something like this.
You can't blame everything on Nikos.
I know he's behind it, Rachel. He wants to turn you against me.
In order to pull this off, Carl, he would have to live in this house. He would have to know the most intimate details of our lives.
Well, that wouldn't be such a problem.
What are you saying, that it's a member of our staff?
Or a member of our family.
Mom? What are you doing here?
I live here, boy.
Not anymore. I want you out. If you're okay, I'm okay. I'm going to bed.
A word or two before you retire, young man. Inasmuch as you and I are purportedly business partners, I think we should meet tomorrow morning to discuss a particularly obnoxious competitor.
Sure. Who?
Alexander Nikos. Perhaps you've heard of him.
Of course. He's one of the richest men in the world.
And he's also quite possibly one of the most unscrupulous.
Well, we can talk about him anytime you wish.
We will.
Good night, Mother.
What are you implying? Are you implying that Matthew is part of this?
I don't know whether your son's involved or not, but I promise you this. I shall find out.